Where have I been since I last did a proper vlog post here on the Neil Taylor YouTube channel? First of all, I'm going to put a link in the description below and also into the pinned comment about my other YouTube channel, where for the last 4 years I've been putting out a video every single day for 4 years, 365 days a year, sometimes more than one video a day. That's called the Campsite Warden. So just search on YouTube for Campsite Warden and you'll find my other channel where I documented for 5 years, especially hardcore for 3 years, the role of being a campsite warden. And so I will put a link in the description below and in the pinned comment, so do go and explore the Campsite Warden. So this channel was originally just set up as a, I don't really know what, it was just for throwing up some family videos from old VHS videotapes years ago when YouTube very first started. So you need to go all the way back and look at my oldest videos and you'll see that I've been on YouTube for many years. And I think I'm coming up to 7,000 subscribers on this channel, and coming up, my next big milestone on my other channel will be 9.5 and then 10,000 on my other channel. So yeah, it was all done as to document family things, and then as a side hustle, I had an orchestral manoeuvres in the dark, an OMD side where I was putting up loads of OMD things, and then I started to document some of our camping and away trips with the family as they were all growing up. So all them videos are all on here, and also started to film walks and places of interest that we used to go to, and many of those videos were done on a hand camcorder with videotapes, so whether that be DVD or Type C, but basically the old analog video tapes that I then transferred and digitized and put them on here. So you'll be very surprised that my single biggest viral video is over 1 million views on here, and that was how to put up a dandy trailer tent. Over 1 million views, and some of them are equally popular and big over the years. But because of all my time and energy has all gone into the Campsite Warden channel, that's why this channel has been neglected, and you just get very random things put up here from time to time. So you'll have gathered that some of you may have subscribed here because I was originally putting Campsite Warden videos here. That may be why you're here. I don't know why you're watching this, if I'm honest. You can tell me, if you're able to, in the comments below. Comment how you found this channel, how long you've been watching it for, and if you just give me a little bit of background of who you are, my demographics are. So I, for want of a better word, started to neglect this channel about 4 years ago. As I transferred, I thought I'm going to make a dedicated channel about the role of being a campsite warden, and then this channel just went disappeared off the wayside. So if you're not familiar, I started to work in lockdown. I ended up, my first job was at Hadrian's Wall campsite in Northumberland. So I did a full season over there, loved that lifestyle. Then went over to West Wales. From West Wales I did a site in Somerset. Then I did a site in South Lake District. And then I ended up going to a campsite in Lincolnshire, a place called the Nurseries in a place called Mumby in Lincolnshire, on the Lincolnshire east coast between Mablethorpe and Skegness, if you know Mablethorpe and Skegness. So I'm just trying to not waffle. It's not easy not waffling, is it? So I came here and had an amazing first year. I ended up on my own as a solo warden, but I had an amazing time on an amazing, beautiful campsite. A really interesting year. Again, everything is documented on the Campsite Warden channel. You need to go on there. There's hundreds of videos about my journey. Year 2, So what used to happen, I used to work for summer, sort of starting work about March. I used to finish in October or November, come home for the winter, and then go off to the campsite again in springtime. But on year 2 of being at the campsite in Mumby in Lincolnshire, I said to my wife, I said, you know what, we could get a new life here. We could move from Manchester. So Manchester, I've lived in Manchester for over 60 years, all of my life in Manchester, in the, if you know the area, not far from Altrincham, a place called Hale. My spiritual home was a place called Timperley, where I've also had properties in the past. I used to have a business in Timperley, and I was also an elected member, an elected ward councillor for 8 years in Timperley, and I know a lot about Timperley. I was responsible for the Frank Sidebottom bronze life-size statue in Timperley village. And I said, I'm never going to move from Timperley. I'm never going to move from Manchester. That's never, ever going to happen. Never. Never moving. Anyway, year 2 I've been in Lincolnshire and working. The idea was sown that we could sell our property in Hale and quite possibly be able to buy something even bigger and better here and start a new life. And it was all a bit of a pipe dream. So me and Sandra, we started to look for properties, and initially my mother-in-law, who's now, I think she's 92 or coming up to 92, was going to come and join us. So we were looking for a property that would be suitable for me and Sandra and the mother-in-law in the 90s. We found where we are now. So I live in a place called Croft, which is just outside Wainfleet. It's a 10-minute drive from Skegness, and completely have fallen in love with Lincolnshire in a way, to my dying day, I will never explain how I fell out of love with where I lived in Manchester, where I represented politically in Manchester, to start a new Lincolnshire life. Life here is so different. A lot of the time it's in the slow lane, there's greenery, there's gardens. People have got green gardens, not astroturf, and wooden. I've got a wooden fence here, haven't I? But look behind me. So we've got a new greenhouse we're going to be putting in later on this year. We've got hedging and wildlife and birds and buzzards above us and kestrels and muntjac deer. I've got rabbits up here in the front garden. It is a different world where we're living in Lincolnshire. I use a saying, it's a bit like going back to 1976, the age of innocence. Every little town and village has got its own community centre, its own little coat of arms. There's still village halls here and community events going on, and for whatever reason there is no rush hour traffic. So it gets busy in holiday time for the 6-week holiday period in August, but for most of the year it's quite sleepy and slow. So we've got the madness of Skegness, but it's not really that mad. I love Skegness. And a little bit further up the coast we've got Mablethorpe, another seaside place, with places like Sutton-on-Sea in between. And then also from where I'm living now, we are less than half an hour, 20-25 minutes away from a big town called Boston. So it allows a snapshot of where I've been for the last 4 years since I decided to put anything out up here. I just may start to do some ramblings on here away from the Campsite Warden channel, which is now called the erstwhile Campsite Warden channel. Yeah, just because I've neglected it, and I'm not, as I say, I've just put random things on here that I've no interest on the other channel. So if you've stayed here to now, thanks ever so much for being here. If you've been a subscriber for a long time and you get a notification when I upload a video, fantastic. For the people who have been finding my what we call evergreen videos, so I've got some videos what will forever be green, they'll be forever popular. The Dandy trailer tents are a really good example, and some of my other camping ones and some of my orchestral moves in the dark things are what you call evergreen, so I get random comments from videos I put up years and years ago. But if you're able to comment, I'd just love to know why you're here. Would you like me to put any more content here away from my other channel, a bit more of a Neil Taylor rather than the campsite warden character? It'd be brilliant if you could do that. If you're not already subscribed, go on, click the subscribe button. It costs nothing. If you've already subscribed, fantastic, and hitting the like button would be truly amazing. Thanks ever so much for watching. Take care, look after yourselves.